Bad Religion's nymphomaniac album, The Grey Race, was released in 1996 on Atlantic Records. It was initially released on a grey marble vinyl and since then has had many represses on Epitaph Records, etc. It has also been released as part of the Bad Religion box set on LP vinyl record format. Now there's ever such a strange rumor about this LP, that if you get 3 of the different faces from the front cover, melt them together, you'll see the true face of the...
Good afternoon, Dolphin Acrobat. I hold in my hand the LP by the band Bad Religion. The band and the title of the album, The Grey Race, as seen here in very small letters on the flipping barcode. I first heard this album maybe back in 2002 or 2003, which was, in fairness, a few years after the album was initially released in the mid-90s. But I listened to this album first, maybe about 15-16 years ago, and I must admit also it was the very first Bad Religion album that I heard all of the way through. I was introduced to the songs from this album initially from the game Crazy Taxi from the Sega Dreamcast video game system video game. So after listening to those 2 songs from this album, I was perturbed, I was intrigued, I was flummoxed, and I was vindicated. So I looked them up, I asked a good friend of mine, Des, who of course had the album. I borrowed it, I was blown away, I divulged, I inquisitated myself, and I found Bad Religion, and I took it into my body and I let it out via a big burp, a burp of fun and enthusiasm. And since then I've been a fairly big Bad Religion fan. I've listened to, of course, the albums that come before it, some of which are better, and the albums that come after it, some of which are better, but this one will always be a little bit special to me because it's the very first Bad Religion album that I heard, and I'm going to take a look at it. Now, so on the front here we have 9 faces, and you could say that they're the faces of evil or the faces of triumph. I'll let that be your decision. And on the reverse here we have a further 6 faces, which lets us have a small space at the bottom for the credits, wasting literal space. But what you could do with this space is that you could cut it out and use it as a bookmark, or even 2 bookmarks, because it would be quite a fat bookmark. And here we have the track listings, and it's 1996, Epitaph Records. Great, that's very interesting. And I'm going to take a look inside now to see what I can find out. From the indicated clues of the record sleeve covering. Oh, what a stink! It stinks like red paint that's been left next to a tree for more than 2 days. Oh, it smells like the inside of a steel cabinet. No, just those 2 smells. So we have the record. That is the format of the music included. And also, oh, look at this baby face. Look at this funny baby face. I wonder what this human looks like now. I bet you something. This baby, what is in this picture, is older now than when the picture was taken.
Bad Religion.
And on the back here, we have the band people from the band, and they're like, I'm still in the band, I've left. I'm still in the band, I've left. I'm still in the band. So there's a bit of a flux of band members since this album came out. But as you can see, there's 5 band members here. And this is a chap who replaced Brett after Brett left, because this band signed away from Brett's company or something like that.
Bad Religion album.
Although I think he still wrote some of the songs. I don't know. Here's all of the lyrics or song words. That's really great.
Bad Religion album.
Yeah, more information, more credits, and great. How interesting.
The grey race is
It's only a little bit interesting. What's also interesting, or more interesting than me saying that it's interesting, is that the words are flippin' tiny! They're flippin' small, mate! Very small, mate! They're very small on there. You might have a bit of trouble looking at that, unless you've got bionic eyes, or youthful eyes like me. And the record itself inside this traditional white paper sleeve is red. That's just one of the colours, because as you can imagine, this is also available on blue, on grey, on all different other colours, I believe. Not all colours, of course, because there's lots of colours, but lots of variations of colours, maybe some. Okay? And on this side, Epitaph Records, Bad Religion, Grey Race, 8 tracks. That's nice.
Here.
And on the other side, 7 tracks. Wow, that equals 11 tracks. That equals 15 tracks. Yeah. And all of the tracks on this album, from my memory, bring back memories. Can you believe that? Every time I think about this album, I remember it, which is a nice aspect. And if you're a fan of the Crazy Taxi video game, there's one song on each side from that game, because side A, or 1, has Them and Us, and side 2 has 10 in 2010. And I just need to insert a little fact, or in fact an opinion of mine about this album. The song 10 in 2010 was not featured, or there was not a tour named after that in the year 2010. Very strange. They should have featured that song strongly in the year 2010, and they didn't. It was a wasted aspect. Thanks very much. Now let's take a listen to it to see if it withstands the test of time, or to see if this should be caged and locked in the sewers with the dungeon onion rats. Let's find out. Now. Love it. And how do I know I still love it? Because I listened to the whole album just now, and also listened to the whole album about 2 weeks ago. It's a regular of mine. I like this album a lot. I'd actually, sorry about this, people who like other albums like Generator, Processor Belief, things like that. This is actually probably one of my very, very favourite Bad Religion albums. I love it. I love every song. I don't think there's a weak point on this album. And to strengthen my opinion, I must now listen to side 2 or B, okay? And it swivels quite easy. Only a tiny bit of resistance. It has a swivel difficulty of 1 out of 5. Great. And let's give side B a listen with the other ear, which I must say is fresher, and I do like to wash this ear a bit more often than that one. Let's go and listen, friend. Friend or chipmunk. Friend or chipmunk or book or bridge. Friend or chipmunk or book or bridge or cardigan. Friend or chipmunk or book or bridge or cardigan or church organ. Friend or chipmunk or... What an album! I'm not going to muck around, I'm just going to say to you now, friends and internet people, you should get this album for your collection if you're a punk rock fan, unless you're the sort of person who isn't having any Epitaph records in my collection. If you're that sort of person, and you know who you are, if you're the sort of person who doesn't like to have any Epitaph records in their collection, then unfortunately they're sorely missing out, because if they can have one, they should probably have this one. It's a good Epitaph record by the fantastic band Bad Religion. Now I know that some people say, Bad Religion, oh, they're a little bit the same, every one of their albums sounds the same. Oh, Bad Religion, Oh, their songs were a little bit too deep for me. Oh, Bad Religion, they sound a little bit boring. Oh, Bad Religion, they're a little bit too serious. Cut that out! Get a life and get a grip. No, it's good. I'm enjoying this a lot. Again and again. It's a solid album, and it's a solid chunk of my life, and a solid chunk of my blooming lifestyle. Quite often I'll be seen walking down the street, and someone will walk past me and say, "Here, ain't you that guy? Ain't you that guy who likes the grey race?" And I'll say, "Yeah, I am. But unfortunately, I'm the guy who likes the grey race, with grey spelt with an A instead of an E, because it's the American wrong spelling. Because of course grey spelt with an E. Like Linda Gray from Dallas. Yeah, she spells it right in her name, so why can't the rest of the Americans?" Anyway, bye friends. Bye. It was fluidic in colour, so it was kind of bright green. But in the night time, you could...
Thank you ever so much for watching my very good video. Don't forget to subscribe to the Very Good channel and come back next week for another very good video. A video to watch. Now, it's a good video.